And he's screaming his head off, and I started talking to him, and immediately he stopped, and he looked over at me, and we made eye contact for the first time. And then, you know, they're still doing their things, so he turned back and started screaming again.
You know, your children are a legacy. In that, there's something to be cherished, nurtured, and given every opportunity of protection and love.
We're very happy we have a little boy. Yeah.
The concept is that the medicine that I was taught and it's still being taught in the medical schools is what I'm calling a war machine.
So you can have just that basic level where you have a place that can deliver the baby, that can clamp the cord, and may even be able to handle an emergency that arises. But this is very primitive, and they may not allow the father into the delivery room. It may not be very kind to the mother, but that's battlefield conditions.
Everywhere. We have created cultures of war and generations of war.
Everything that we're taught has to do with killing. We kill bacteria, eradicate AIDS, eliminate diabetes. Our whole focus is on destruction.
You're thinking more about life and death choices because the doctor has put these things in your mind. You're stressed out, you're lacking sleep, you're lacking food. And it's making major life decisions in situations where you normally wouldn't want to. It's almost like a war zone, I'd imagine.
I don't mean to compare it to war at all, but authority and roles and responsibilities trickle down through the organization, down to the front lines. Men do very well at delegating the tasks that need to be done to get the objective met. And that's especially how the military model is derived of. There's a general at the top, he sets his policies and he declares what the targets are. And then he delegates the tasks of how to identify them, when to attack them, on down through the ranks, all the way down to the private on the front lines who's going to go in and shoot the enemy.
So a friend of mine, she works in a birthing ward, and she has chronic fatigue, and she doesn't like the way the doctors treat the women.
But it's hard to be a doctor, and it's hard to be a nurse, and the hours are long, and you've got one mother after another, and one baby after another, and you're doing this stuff, and it becomes an assembly line. And people become robots. Everybody is dehumanized. That's what it's really, it's dehumanizing. And they don't even know what they've lost.
So the nurse, no, they basically have the job. They're very well trained to put you on the assembly line of starting with whatever they're starting with and end up with the finished product.
I've heard stories that some nurses start taking bets on how long before the family breaks and does what we want them to do. And they actually make it their mission to make this family have a American standard birth.
And it's their training, but it's important to remember. It's important to remember that the patient is essentially a customer, and one of the customer's always right.
Because your son's over there all muddy.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Making more mud.
He's making mud. So you were saying?
Assembly line.
They put you on the assembly line?
Nurses are very well trained in what they do, and they're trained to get people in and out of the hospital as quickly as possible. and with as little liability as possible. And it seems, I don't know, to me it seems a little negative to look at it that way, but really when you understand it, it is, you know, they're running a business, they're employees of a business, and the business says we need to lower costs and increase productivity. So the faster you can get somebody in and out of the hospital, or the longer you can keep them there while charging them, is beneficial to us. When they're in labor and they're not doing anything, you know, IVs, obviously you can't charge much for that.